studios in Melbourne, this is the Bolt Report Sunday. Now, Andrew Bolt.
Now, before I get on to the rest of the show, I want to talk about one of these cultural shifts that the government hasn't really been engaging in and didn't engage in with Malcolm Turnbull. Boy, did that man dodge these great debates. There's a great shift going on all around us, and I think it's really big. It's a poisonous shift, identity politics. I know you've heard it, it's almost like a slogan now. Identity politics, bad. But it's in fact a movement, a very big one, going on all around you and affecting government, business, schools, the way we perceive each other. Explains in part the riots on the streets that you sometimes see as well against conservatives and people like that, individualists. Identity politics is where you don't see me as Andrew Bolt, just the bloke who's got some opinions and you've got yours and everyone's got different ones. No, in identity politics is I'm just an old straight white guy and therefore I've got these opinions and these values and these privileges. There could be another old straight white guy who's a homeless bum in the gutter. He's a completely different kind of guy. But that doesn't matter. We're all now old straight white guys. And do you see how suddenly individuality is lost? Or say you're a gay. Well, if you're a gay, you must be oppressed and you must be of the left and you must have all these certain opinions. I've got a gay friend or acquaintance who's actually quite wealthy, runs a gay bar. He's conservative, ran for the Liberal Party. I mean, suddenly it doesn't fit, does it? Now, that's the tyranny of this identity politics. People are put in boxes that don't conform to who they really are. Now, it's apparently driven by compassion politics. These people are brown and therefore they're oppressed. These people are white, therefore they're the oppressors, and away you go. What it in fact is leading to is not something compassionate at all, but a sort of mob rule. This is the new racism of the left, identity politics. There was a great example in the past few days from Portland, Oregon, one of America's haven of the very left wing. And it shows you how anytime you get humans in a crowd situation, they lose their moral compass. They lose their compassion. This was a protest by Black Lives Matter, which unfortunately is a movement that's getting echoes over here, backed by ANTIFA. They claim to be anti-fascist. They are the fascists. ANTIFA, by the way, had two of their goons attack me in the street, you might recall, last year. And this protest at Portland, I mean, here we were told was a protest about being compassionate to people. Black Lives Matter, how dare you whites harass and be indifferent to blacks losing their lives. Well, in the end, you had one white activist yelling at an old woman in a wheelchair. Can you believe it?
We're not here for your comfort. We're here to mourn. We're mourning two people who died.
Nobody mourns for me.
We grabbed your
What?
Go inside. Go inside.
I didn't put any hands on her.
Go inside.
12 shots into his back.
The issue.
Not okay under any circumstance.
And then, of course, you had the activists there feeling so full of power, an unelected power, a power no one ever gave them, and just standing in the street directing the traffic while the cops looked on, even smashing the window of a passing motorist who they took exception to. You've seen, unfortunately, the same sort of things here. You've seen mobs convinced that they are right and treating the people they're attacking as obviously of one group, they're just evil, not seeing them as individuals, and throwing rocks at them or trying to stop them from simply meeting or screaming abuse at them at the Milo Yiannopoulos tour or when Geert Wilders came. I mean, in Geert Wilders you even had people thrown to the floor, elderly Australians or older Australians, don't want to insult that poor gentleman, thrown to the floor as an act of compassion. That's what is happening. We've got to worry about this. And we're seeing You say, oh, well, look, it's not just, it's just about violence, I'll just stay away from that. No, it's about things like quotas. Quotas, you've got to have so many women on your board. You've got to have so many women on your workplace. You've got to have so many Indigenous people here. You've got to have so many people who identify as Indigenous, even though you might not think they're particularly Indigenous. Tick a box. Mediocrity rules. You're no longer judged as an individual, but whether you tick those boxes. I think that's really sad. I've got to say that even the ABC's acting chair, Kirsten Ferguson, strikes me as one that got the job. Don't want to be rude, but seems to me because she's a woman. She's a woman's activist, no particular skills in broadcasting I've ever seen. There you go. Now you may think, well, what does it matter? But I think it does matter. We have to see each other as individuals. And this, I hope, is one battle that the new Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, will fight. Well, we'll ask him, won't we?